You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney Theme Parks podcast, and this is show number 459 for Sunday, the 18th of June, 2023.
Where dreams begin.
Hello and welcome to this week's Disney Dream Girls. My name is Michelle Young, and together with my jolly good chum Jane Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. Hello there, Jane.
Hello there, Michelle, and how are we this very hot and sweaty and busy week, I think?
Yes.
Just yes to that, yes.
I am literally pinging from corner to post with so many things and going on at the moment. I have got a new vehicle.
Yay!
I need a name for said vehicle. And
Ooh.
because of new vehicle, there will be no further trips booked till I've paid for said vehicle in 4 years' time.
Oh, life has a habit of getting in the way, doesn't it?
Yes, well, I hoped my little baby would keep me ticking along for the next couple of years, but fate meant I was going to go from Volvo to a Ford.
Yay. But you're mobile, so that's the most important thing.
I am, and it means I can get back on the road again without having to be chauffeured everywhere.
Although the idea of being chauffeured everywhere sounds quite nice.
Well, it is because I can keep up with the whole world of social media. I can drink my coffee. I can enjoy the scenery.
Yeah, you see.
But I did have to get up to work an hour earlier than I normally did to get to work on time.
Yeah. So with every upside, there's a downside.
Completely. What about yourself? You did some good trooping last weekend?
Yes, we were at MCon, which is held in Nottingham at the Motorpoint Arena. We had 2 days with our East Midlands Garrison family doing some trooping for Star Warsy business, and we raised, I think it was £420 over the course of 2 days for PASIC, which is a children's cancer charity based close to where we are. They're all good.
Very good, very good. Well, with the update of what Jane and I are up to, how about looking back to the history in the world of Disney?
Yeah, just going to have a couple of things this week. So the 18th of June, and quite recent ones actually, 1999. This was the release of Disney's 37th animated feature, which was Tarzan. So the reason I'm mentioning this is because it's to do with some of the techniques that they use when creating the scenes where Tarzan he's like sliding along branches and going through all the vines and everything. And they developed a new 3D painting and rendering technique, which was called Deep Canvas. And the funny thing was, Simon and I were watching some random YouTube a couple of weeks ago, and we actually learnt all about this and were looking at it. Simon knew all about it anyway with his arty background, but it was basically a way of creating in CGI and a painted effect that looked more like a painting than previously they'd been able to do with it with CGI. And then the cool thing was, because of this development, they actually were awarded an Academy Award for technical achievement, but not until 2003. So I think it just goes to show how pioneering Disney have been and can be, especially in these the computer generated stuff, and we know how good they are with animatronics and everything. But I thought it was a really cool thing to come out of that particular film. And then we're going to flash forward to 2013, and I had to mention this because this is when Walt Disney World officially reopened the Main Street Bakery at Magic Kingdom, featuring for the very first time Starbucks.
Ooh.
How could I not mention the first time that Starbucks appeared in a Disney park, when we all know just how much Michelle loves her Starbucks?
Absolutely.
So there you go.
Although I do remember the kerfuffle. I love the kerfuffle when it was announced that Main Street Bakery was going away and going to be replaced with the soulless megacorp of Starbucks. And apart from the loss of the ginormous pan of cinnamon rolls that you could get, I'm quite happy to have my Starbucks.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things, isn't we? You know, like we always say, some changes come along and some you don't like and some you might be a bit hesitant about. And if they prove out in time, then that's okay. And at least we can go over to Gaston's Tavern and still get a mega cinnamon bun over there.
Not as big as they used to be, though, Jane.
No, but still quite big.
We are on the 18th of June.
Correct.
Happy Father's Day to all of our fathers out there.
Oh, of course, yes.
Hope you're having a lovely day with your family. Right, Jane, we've mentioned a special time of the year. Well, on the 15th of June, the Disney Parks blog announced the Christmas offerings, because what could be more summery than Christmas 2023?
Are you ready for Christmas? Are you ready to have some fun in the shiny December sun? 'Cause that's what we're gonna do. Yes, it's true. Are you ready for Christmas?
Yeah, it does make me laugh where they have this halfway to the holidays as like a little excuse for a little fanfare to announce everything that's coming up, which is fantastic, but it does feel a little bit of an oxymoron when you're sitting there sweating your whatsits off.
So let's think, what's the first announcement? Well, it was going to be over at Disney's Hollywood Studios, and they are having a brand new event for 2023. Disney Jollywood Nights.
Oh, I see what they did there.
Yeah, it just makes me want to sing. Yeah, loving the title.
Good.
I am a little bit upset that there isn't a possessive apostrophe and it's Disney's Jollywood Nights. It's just Disney Jollywood Nights.
Yeah.
Hey ho. It is a separately ticketed event. In other words, it is an upcharge event where on these particular days, the Hollywood Studios park will close to normal guests tad earlier, and then will be available for all other ticket-bearing guests from 8:30 p.m. till 12:30 a.m. and they're holding this select party. I suppose it's a dip in the toe in the water for 10 nights starting on the 11th of November running to the 20th of December. There's some things here that aren't explicit in the press release that they've put out.
Okay.
It says, get ready to dress in your Hollywood glam or festive fare, dance the night away to merry mashups, indulge in divine treats and bubbling spirits, and snap selfies with iconic characters during this new festive event. All sounds good.
Yeah.
There is a DJ with holiday tunes on Commissary Lane. There's lively Latin street fair there. Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy are going to host a live holiday special at the Theatre of the Stars with some of their Disney friends. That sounds really good. More details to come. So I'm hoping I will get to see that via the Vloggerati. There's going to be 2 limited capacity entertainment experiences. There's a jazz lounge at Hollywood Brown Derby.
Okay.
And then an otherworldly soiree at the Hollywood Tower Hotel Courtyard. But both of these have limited capacity.
So it's going to be interesting to find out how that will work.
Many people over the years going to Hollywood Studios at this time of year have enjoyed Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam. And it's not been back due to COVID.
Yeah.
A lot of people sort of thinking, oh, I don't think it's going to be around this year. Well, it's going to be at this special event, and it's going to have music, fireworks, special effects, and dazzling state-of-art projections. Lots of magic shots and Disney Photo Pass experiences, complimentary digital downloads, meet Mickey and Minnie and the rest of the iconic gang. These characters such as Powerline Max, Phineas and Ferb, Edna Mode, who Jane did look like at the weekend, if you haven't seen her pictures. And some of the classic iconic attractions are going to be available with, of course, a much smaller line.
Yeah, so it's your classic sort of after-hours event. There's going to be food, there's going to be treats, there's going to be special photos, some extra entertainment, and specific rides that are going to be open.
Spicy Korean chicken on a mini funnel cake.
Okay.
A Christmas tree cookie stack. Sounds yummy. Alcoholic beverages. Are they giving these away with a price though?
We don't know, I think would be the answer to that question.
No. We do know, Jane. It says guests can buy.
Ah, okay.
Now, there isn't anything explicit that says anything is free with this apart from all the above mentioned things. So like, Mickey's Very Merry, you have your cookies. Mickey's Not So Scary, you have your trick and treats.
Yeah, so are they going to throw anything in with this one or not?
There's nothing on the press release that says anything is free.
Right.
It starts, as we mentioned earlier, 11th of November, 18th, 20th, 27th and 29th. And then there were 5 further dates in December, 4th, 6th, 16th, 18th and 20th. Prices range from $159 to $179 per person, and tickets can be bought from the Walt Disney World website starting 6th of July unless you are a guest at select Disney World resort hotels, and you can get yours from the 29th of June.
So I hope they ration them out, because otherwise it could get snapped up, I would imagine, quite quickly on the 29th.
Well, let me just think about it. If I was going to be in Walt Disney World at that time of year, I would be tempted by the Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy holiday special. That to me is the standout thing.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of money, and I imagine by the time I'd be able to get there, I'm going to be paying top whack at $180 each, $360. I'm sorry, I will get lots of other magical experiences in the park for a lot less price.
Yeah, I think we've said this time and time again with any of these hard ticket events, that it's got to be down to your own personal budget and what you can and cannot afford to do. And like you say, Michelle, if you're paying that top whack, because obviously the closer you get to Christmas, the more expensive it's going to be, understandably. And you multiply it up by the people that are in your party, and then it's not a cheap thing to do, is it? I think I remember doing Mickey's Very Merry back in 2004, and I think we paid something like $75 each. Just goes to show, doesn't it, where prices have gone.
Absolutely. Moving over to the Magic Kingdom, we have the dates for Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. 25 nights. Last year they all sold out. So we are looking at November the 9th running through December the 22nd. So a top tip from me would be, make sure you go to the Magic Kingdom on one of these days, because not a lot of people will go there because they know they'd have to leave early. So the park itself during the day might be a little bit quieter.
Yeah, and I suppose that might be the case as well for Hollywood Studios.
Absolutely. You're going to be looking at a fantabulous Christmas stage show, Mickey's Most Merriest Celebration. There's going to be Minnie's Wonderful Christmas Time Fireworks and the Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas Time Parade, which all will be able to be seen from the comfort of your own sofa via YouTube. It's going to be interesting with regards to the attractions. Tron Light Cycle Run is still going to be using a virtual queue.
Yeah, so you could end up being unlucky not getting it if you think it's a chance to get on it that way, because a lot of people will want it because it's a night time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's no guarantee that the queues are going to be any quieter as such, so you could still have a big chunk of your evening stood in a queue.
It burns me to say this as a Disney person through and through, but $400 for this event for me and Tom to go to is just a price point on top of having the normal, Christmas tickets and the flights and the hotels. If we were going to be there, it would not be within my price range. I'm sorry, it's just got too much for me.
Yeah, I think it's one of these things. I mean, going at certain times of the year, whether it's the height of summer or Easter or Christmas, it's, we recognise that you are paying a lot of money out because it's considered to be high season. It's a popular time. People want to go. You understand that. But then to be paying extra on top for stuff, I say, if you've got deep pockets, all power to you. But most of us nowadays don't tend to have.
If you don't want to pay for an extra party ticket, there's so much things you can do.
Yeah, of course there is, yeah.
Now, they haven't announced everything. However, there will be a Frozen holiday surprise where you can go and see that at the Magic Kingdom. So that's going to be great. There's going to be Snowgies, and who doesn't love a good Snowgie? So that is really exciting. And it says this Frozen-inspired entertainment experience will illuminate the castle in a whole new way. So this answers the question that the Cinderella Castle Dreamlights are being rethemed around this franchise.
Which kind of makes sense. If you're going to put a franchise in there, that's the obvious one to use, isn't
Well,
it?
it's moving away from Cinderella to what's bringing in the money at the moment.
Yeah.
Over at Animal Kingdom, there's going to be the Merry Menagerie, the winter
Yeah.
animal puppets. They sound so attractive to go and visit. And obviously it's going to be December. It's going to be a big change for people who normally go in the summer, like myself, because it'll be a lot cooler. Candlelight Processional, 24th of November
course.
through to the 30th. They haven't announced who's speaking when. There's the Holiday Kitchens at Epcot and the Spirited Storytellers.
Yeah.
There will be lots of things, and the most important thing for many people to go and do is to go and visit all of the hotels.
I'm going to say, just them in their own right with all their decorations, it's worth the trip round. And it's free.
Now, the Halfway to Christmas event is going on in the parks, but Jane, you know me, I love a good gingerbread cookie.
Don't we all at that time of year?
Absolutely. But I saw the price of it. It's just under $8.
It better be a big one.
Well, how big is $8 worth?
Well, depends who's asking, I suppose.
You know, just saying. Okay, so let's hop on over to Disneyland because we are
Okay.
going to be seeing some fantastic happenings over there. And I must say, Mickey and Minnie's Christmas outfit for the Disneyland Resort are pretty swanky.
Yeah, I love the fact that Mickey's kind of wearing like an oversized cardigan.
He is. He's got this gorgeous, though, like I would call it a Pringle sweater. That's in
Yes.
pink and red, and it looks fantastic with the emerald green trousers. Mickey's got a Santa hat on. Minnie has got a stylish bow. She's got a very beautiful red and silver cape dress, which looks so cool.
Do you know what? They're both giving me vibes of proper old school. I'm thinking Perry Como, 1950s, 60s sort of Christmas special. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And for me, there's no better place to be at Christmas than the Disneyland Resort because you have got It's a Small World where literally
course.
tinsel, glitter, baubles have been thrown up with a flurry of bright neon lighting, and it just looks amazing. It is everybody's best Christmas experience, and for me, I absolutely adore that. They're going to be bringing that back again this year. Obviously, you're thinking about the other attractions that get their makeover as well, so it's very exciting, but not a lot of details so far with regards to Disneyland apart from that and the aforementioned very expensive Mickey gingerbread cookie. So yeah, we've got some exciting things coming up, Jane.
They are, I mean, whether you want to go to a hard ticket event, at least they are putting something else on as well rather than just Mickey's Very Merry. So at least it kind of implies that they are thinking and trying to come up with new things to be doing at Disney World. So that's got to be taken as a positive.
Another plus point, though, is to get the maximum bang from your bucks by also visiting either Downtown Disney at the Disneyland Resort or going to Disney Springs because there's plenty to do down there. And don't forget, you can also trawl around all the Disney resorts to see the amazing creations that the pastry team will put together, such as the life-size gingerbread house over at the Grand Floridian and the Grand Californian are never to be underdone. They always create something absolutely staggeringly beautiful. And to me, sitting in the lobby of the Grand Californian with a hot chocolate, the carolers are there, the tree is huge and covered in tinsel, there's comfy sofas, a fire burning. Oh, it's just like you're absolutely in the Pacific Northwest and snuggling down for a beautiful Christmas.
Quintessentially Christmas, I think, is how you describe it.
Although I will say I've never really had a Christmas experience like that because I'm normally running around frantically around Disneyland trying to get on all the attractions, eat all the food and get every single flake of gingerbread scented snow on my tongue. But just saying.
Yeah, I think there's an element, isn't there, of we have in our heads the fact that we're going to spend all this time taking these things in and soaking up the ambience, and it might be a case, right, we're sitting down for 5 minutes because then we've got to get moving again.
Yeah. As the season moves on, we move away from the summer into Halloween. I am sure we'll be hearing a lot more about what's going to be happening. I'm really, really excited to see what's going to happen with the Candlelight Processional, who's going to be delivering it this year. And it just brings about that season of joy where if you can't get there, the best thing is to be able to find your favourite vlogger and watch their content.
Yeah, say it's just nice to be able to have all these different bits and bobs to look forward to.
100%. 100%. I gather there's going to be some seasonal events also on the Disney Cruise Line as well. So it's really good that Disney are realising that there's a lot of people who to them connect the holiday experience with Disney, whether it's land, whether it's world, whether it's cruise line, or in fact even Disneyland Paris. And when Disney made the announcement that they had 3 presents to open, Disneyland, Disney World, Cruise Line, I was really upset that because now they own Disneyland Paris, where's the DLP announcement?
Yeah, it was a little bit lacking, wasn't it? But I'm sure something will come out, whether it'll come out direct from Paris themselves, perhaps, I don't know.
True. I did have, talking of Disneyland Paris, Kirsten Gilson get in touch and asking me questions about where to eat at Disneyland Paris. And I suppose this is a nice segue to get us back in time from Christmas to thinking about, well, where would we recommend someone to go and eat at Disneyland? Jane, I know you're not a big table service fan, so where would you recommend Kirsten goes to have some of her delightful meals?
And we're talking Disneyland Paris now.
We are indeed. I thought let's do, the trio.
Well, you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say Earl of Sandwich, which I know is not really, very helpful because it's not actually in the parks. You can't go wrong with Earl of Sandwich.
It's good value. You can get the holiday turkey sandwich whenever you like. And the amazing bread pudding or the chocolate brownie are all there. It's not expensive. It's not difficult to go from either of the 2 Disney parks to go to the Earl.
No. I think that's the thing with at least with Disneyland Paris, you're relatively close to the village when you come out of both parks. So getting between parks and between the village isn't such an onerous thing to do. I think perhaps people, if you're not familiar with Disneyland Paris, wouldn't necessarily realise that. So, I mean, I've always enjoyed coming out because I know that I can go to Earl of Sandwich. It does tend to be better value than what you're getting inside the parks. I've not been to Paris for a couple of 3 years, if not more now. I'd always found the fast food, the quick service inside the parks to be a little bit samey across them all. You don't seem to get the variety that you perhaps would be used to in, say, Disneyland or Disney World. So hence why my first port of call was Earl of Sandwich.
Yeah, true. Although I will say on my last trip to Disneyland Paris with Caroline, we did go and visit Toad Hall. And if you want in a really good quick on the go snack, not for the keto Jane, they have some really nice steak frites, which are like really big chunky steak chips. And they are so delicious. Or you can get fish and chips from there. And it's not expensive. But yeah, you're right. A lot of the quick service places do tend to have very samey menus. And also when you think in the plethora of snacks that they have over in the American parks, because snacking and eating on the go isn't a big French cultural thing to do. They don't have a lot, but what they do have is coming on. We have a really big beignet, which posh donut, which was, who could go wrong with a Nutella-filled donut?
Oh, quite, yeah. I think DLP are upping their game, particularly around the themed and the snacks sort of aspect. And I think from the investment that we've seen over the last few years, they are kind of trying to bring it online more with what perhaps we're used to with the American parks. But as you're right, Michelle, we are dealing with a different culture. The European way of eating isn't necessarily aligned with particularly the US way of doing things. So that's probably why we see that difference.
Yeah. With regards to if we would recommend a particular sit-down place, I can't say enough praise about going to Waltz, not only for the beautiful interior. The menu at the moment is a really solid menu, which regardless of how picky a eater you are, you will find something. But if you get there, ask for a window seat, and you may find it really fortunate that you see a parade going up and down Main Street, which is a really good experience, and you get such an amazing viewpoint, and the characters know you're there because they wave up to those windows all the time because you're at eye level.
Of course, yeah.
So that's my top tip for what Disneyland Park itself. The studios, for me, for the theming, not necessarily the food, you can't go wrong with Cher Me. Steak, chips, salad to start. You can also have a French patisserie item for your dessert. But again, it's a really nice place. I've not really had an awful meal there. It's not one that is culinary exciting, I will say.
No.
But I think people go there because it is such a uniquely themed restaurant and it's okay food.
Yeah, I was going to say exactly the same thing. It's kind of, the theming is amazing in there, and it is very, very well done. But yeah, the food is, it's okay. It's just maybe not what you'd expect from what's being touted as a high-end dining.
But I'm sure Kirsten will have more DLP questions as she gets closer to her trip. Just a reminder, Disneyland Paris, you can book your dining reservations 60 days out. So you have plenty of time. And just like we have over in Walt Disney World, there is a service where you can subscribe to by putting in your email, and you can get notifications if a difficult restaurant to book via the Disneyland app or phone call, you can't get it. You can get availability checking on these services as well.
Ah,
So, yeah.
good to know.
Well, I know a little bit about DLP. I must admit, I am so excited at the prospect of going back at some point. I am just waiting for my travel buddy Caroline, and we will be planning something really, really soon, I hope. So that's exciting news.
Fingers crossed.
Jane,
Yes.
we all like a beverage.
Every now and then.
And for me, it would probably a non-alcoholic beverage. I don't really drink a great deal of alcoholic, just purely because it's not the environment I would like to have a drink. However, on the Disney Cruise Line, I'm a different kind of gal. I'm more than happy to have a couple of alcoholic drinks because I'm not running around the theme park going on attractions where I might revisit the said cocktail. Now, we did mention before, quite a while ago, when the Wish was first sort of setting sail, about the very special Star Wars cocktail that cost quite a lot of money. And a few people had actually purchased it, shared it. We saw a little bit about it. It was more about the experience on land that you got with it. Well, now the Wish has put together an experience in the Rose Bar.
Okay.
Now, this is themed to the beautiful story of Beauty and the Beast.
Right.
And without sort of spoiling the delicacy of the amazing experience, because it's not just the beverage you are getting, as well as obviously the very expensive ingredients into said cocktail, you are going to get an experience with it.
Okay.
It's $50.
Yeah. What's the experience you're getting with it then?
The rose cocktail is served to you with a sort of cylindrical glass dome over it with smoke inside it, rose petals, and it's served with a side serving of a red rose.
Okay.
It looks nice.
Does it?
Yeah, the glass dome is filled with smoke.
Okay.
It's dramatically revealed. And inside,
Yeah.
hear, is a very expensive but delicious drink.
Okay.
Posh tequila.
Posh tequila. Yeah. Okay.
There's Grand Marnier, but it's not the normal bog standard Grand Marnier. It's a elevated Grand Marnier.
Okay.
And then there is a brand of rose champagne, which normally itself sells for $300 a bottle.
Ouch.
And that is why it's expensive. It's top quality liquor that makes this amazing drink, and then is an edible hibiscus flower soaked in syrup, and it's at the base of the glass.
It all sounds very pretty and fancy.
It does, but when you bear in mind on some of the Disney cruise ships, you could pay less and have a flight of wine tasting, the very popular cocktail making tasting, for a lot less than that $50. So, I suppose if you were going to propose to your loved one, wow, what an ideal way to do so. If you were going to want to have a special celebration of a special birthday or whatever, I can see that fitting in absolutely beautifully.
I'm sure it would.
So I set Jane a bit of a challenge and said, Janie, find me some drinks in the Disney lounges and see how they compare financially to this beautiful cocktail available on the Disney Wish.
Well, I had a good trawl through all the various different lounges on Disney World property. Now, I have to say, talking about the quality of the liquor that's being used, there was quite a lot of cocktails that were whiskey based, and they tend to be quite expensive because of the bourbon or the whiskey that's being used. But the most expensive one I found was over at Trader Sam's.
Ooh.
And that's the Nautilus. So this is $36.
Okay.
So we've got some mango rum. I just don't think I've ever had mango rum before. There is Appleton Estate Reserve rum, Combier Crème de Pêche de Vienne liqueur. I probably butchered that and I apologise. Tropical juices and Valernum. I have no idea what that is. I'm obviously not a cocktail girl. But you could make it more expensive if you wanted to, because if you have the souvenir mug, it will be more expensive than the Wish. It'll be $62.
Wow. But you see, you're getting a mug which you can take home. Can you take home and keep forever a rose?
Probably not. Not unless you get it freezed or something.
Well, thinking about customs getting in a live plant.
It's not going to work, is it?
No.
But then the next one I found that was really expensive as well, and this kind of feeds into what you were saying about the high quality of the ingredients that they're using in it. Interesting is it the Enchanted Rose over at Grand Floridian, and that's their Kir Royale, which is quite a straightforward sort of mixed cocktail. It's a combination of Laurent Perrier Brut Champagne and pomegranate pearls, and that comes in at $28.
Ooh.
Not as expensive, but obviously it's not got very many ingredients in it, but obviously you're paying for the calibre of the champagne that they're using in said cocktail. I'd say otherwise, you tend to be looking at drinks that are costing around the $26, $27 mark. They tend to be your next ones down that, and then let's say they tend to involve some sort of whiskey or a combination of rums. That seems to bump up the prices. One thing I did notice, actually, most of the cocktails around all the Disney lounges, you can go down as I think the cheapest I was finding was around about the $10, $11 mark, $10, $11, $12. They tend to average out somewhere between the $15 to $18 range. So if you are interested in your cocktails, they're not overtly expensive. But again, I think it's a case of you pay more the more ingredients that are in a cocktail, and when that quality of cocktail, that drink, that liqueur, that champagne is that named brand, obviously that's bumping up the price for them.
Let us know if you've come across a really amazing cocktail. Share it with us. Let us know your thoughts. I know on our Disney Dream Girls podcast family page on Facebook this week, we did have a bit of a discussion with regards to people's top tip for Christmas. If you've not seen it, hop on over. If you're not yet a family member, just send us a request. We'd love you to join us. We've also been sharing past trips and what we're getting up to as our little Disney fans over on Instagram at DisDreamGirls. But until next week, I think I'm going to wrap up the show. So it's a goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.